everyone, and welcome to the very first ever UEW Toxic Aftershock. I am your host, 14-time UEW World Champion, Ron Diamond, and tonight's show is brought to you by our sponsor, Dubby. No artificial colors, no sugars, no crash, no jitters. Be better, drink Dubby. Now let's get right into the news. First bit of news has to do with a man that has yet to be seen or heard from since we reopened our doors, and that is Supernova's former tag team partner, X-Raider. I have tried to get a hold of X-Raider. Supernova has tried to get a hold of X-Raider. Pretty much everybody in UEW has tried to get a hold of X-Raider and has not been successful. Supposedly, after Toxic last show, Supernova was seen walking through the back on his cell phone, talking rather quietly and secretively. Could that have been X-Raider on the other end of that phone? I went and asked Supernova myself, and he declined to comment. But if it does happen to be X-Raider, what does that mean for UEW's tag division? That means the competition has gotten higher. That our current tag teams are going to have a little bit of a rougher time capturing those tag titles. Man, it could be huge, but there's no point in continuing to speculate when we have no clue if X-Raider's even coming back. Now, our next bit of news has to revolve around Supernova. This guy makes sure to stay in the news and keep himself relevant here in UEW. He went to social media just a couple days ago to say that John Grayson got lucky in their first match and that John Grayson could not beat him a second time and challenges him to another match at the next Toxic Aftershock. It wasn't long before John Grayson gave his reply, saying that if Supernova wants to get beat up again, he's happy to oblige. And it has been signed. At the next UEW Toxic Aftershock, it will be Supernova versus John Grayson one last time. Speaking of Supernova and John Grayson, they had an incredible match last show, and that match, it was a part of our UEW World Title Tournament. Why don't we look at that bracket right now? In our first match, saw Red Dog versus Madman. Red Dog, a multi-time champion, has held many titles in this company, and everyone thought for sure Red Dog was the for sure winner. But Madman silenced all the doubters and picked up the victory, moving on in this tournament to face whoever will win the match at our next UEW Toxic, L.M.F.A.O and Lynx. Whoever wins that match will take on Madman in the semifinal round. Other match last show was Supernova versus John Grayson. As I said, we're about to see it again, but in their first showing, it was another case of Supernova, a multi-time champion here in UEW, the first Triple Crown champion, the first UEW champion ever. John Grayson wins. The underdog won again. 2 matches in a row, the underdog just surprising everyone. Now, next show, it will be my son Enderblaze versus his cousin The Beast. Not The Beast, The Beast. Whoever wins that match will face the Lone Wolf, John Grayson, at the next Toxic in the semi-final rounds. So that would be 2 Toxics from now. We'll have our semi-final rounds. Man, it's an amazing bracket. Tons of talented individuals. And what's awesome about this tournament is now we are guaranteed a brand new UEW World Champion. Because no one else in the tournament, aside from Supernova and Red Dog, has ever held that title. Those are the only two in this tournament. So we are guaranteed a new champion. That's exciting. That is definitely exciting for UEW. And while we're talking about the next show, why don't we talk about the other match that is in that show? Because we're having 3 matches, not 2, 3 huge matches on Toxic. And that will be Christy Reed. And I'll tell you, Christy Reed, I cannot wait to see her actually wrestle a match. I've shown up at training sessions and watched this girl train. She's going to be something special. Keep an eye on her. She is definitely a future women's champion. She will be taking on my wife, once known as Dominique Diamond, but she has asked to be now known as the Empress of Pain, Unique Diamond. In fact, she demands it. Yeah. So, Christy Reed versus Unique Diamond, our first women's match since the start of UEW. Well, since the revival, the rebirth. Our first premium live event, which at that, let's talk about that a little bit. Man, Supernova versus Red Dog for the #1 contendership for the UEW World Championship. So whoever wins this tournament will face, for their first defense, either Supernova or Red Dog. Man, UEW is getting exciting for sure. Now let's move on to just our last bit of news here, and then we'll move on to our match of the evening. There is a little whisper throughout the locker room that a stable, a faction is about to form. The last dominant stable that UEW seen was run by me. They were known as the Nocturnals. We held all the gold at one point. No one could stop us. We controlled it all. Could it be another group like the Nocturnals? Could we see the return of the Nocturnals? I mean, it ain't going to be this guy running it. I mean, we still have Red Dog out there. One of our tag teams tonight, Nitro and Inferno, they were part of the Nocturnals. So we already have 3 members of the Nocturnals back there. It wouldn't be nothing for one of them to run the Nocturnals. But this guy's behind the announcer's table, so it ain't me if it is the Nocturnals. But again, that's speculation because it could be anybody. For all I know, John Grayson and Madman are starting a group together, or Lynx and L.M.F.A.O. It's really hard to tell with 14 different wrestlers in the back. You just never know what could happen. I'm pretty excited to find out if there is a stable, and I'm pretty excited to see if they can be as dominant as a group like the Nocturnals. Because I'll tell you, my group was awesome. Man, really exciting stuff for UEW. We've got amazing shows coming up, and I can't wait for you all to see more of the action. Speaking of action, we're going to head down to ringside where Roger Klinsky is going to introduce our competitors.
All right, everyone. It's match time. Here we go. These guys are so much fun. You guys are in for a treat. Introducing first, at a combined weight of 495 pounds, from Queens, New York, Maverick and Lance, the Hardy Boys. Maverick, the bigger of the two in this team. This is actually their UEW debut. They've been around the indies for about 2 years now. They've held a couple tag team titles. And they are here in UEW to do the same. And while they're at it, partying. Because that's what they do. These two were good friends back in their college days. Actually dropped out of college to pursue a career in professional wrestling. And so far it has worked out well for them. These guys do need to get serious, though. They've got one heck of a hurdle in front of them tonight in Nitro and Inferno. We'll talk a little bit more about that team on their way out after their introduction. The atmosphere has changed in here.
And their opponents, at a combined weight of 633 pounds, from Rutherford, New Jersey, they are Nitro and Inferno.
These two were the most dominant tag team in UEW in the past, holding tag team gold multiple times. They are no-nonsense type of guys. They're probably annoyed by the Party Boys, to be completely honest. These guys care nothing for partying, I can assure you of that. These guys have held tag team gold in UEW 9 times. That is the most out of any tag team in UEW. They look like they're ready to take on the Party Boys. Nitro and Inferno used to be part of a stable known as the Nocturnals at one point. And the match is underway. Matches here in UEW tag matches are contested in tornado tag fashion. All 4 competitors in the ring at the same time. The ref just taken out by Lance. That could be a disqualification. The ref is letting it go. The action's going to be hard to call. Kick to Inferno, a DDT from Lance. Lance breaking up a pin. DDT to Lance from Inferno. Nitro pummeling Maverick in the face, trying to rearrange his facial features. Inferno picking up Lance off the mat. Running power slam. And a clothesline to Maverick. Nitro and Inferno seem to be in full control of this match. I take that back. Maverick throwing an elbow, picking Inferno up in the air, and gut buster. And stomping him. Meanwhile, Lance with a clothesline from behind, bringing Nitro down, and then stomping him. We've got Maverick and Inferno on the outside. Maverick just tossing around Inferno like he's a rag doll. And now punching him in the face. Back in the ring, Nitro is down. Lance with, well, a leg drop, I guess. going for that pin. No one in the ring to stop it. That's a 1, a 2, and a kick out from Nitro. Lance going for a kick, misses. Nitro returning one of his own, perfectly scouted. Another perfectly scouted move from Lance. Back on the outside, Inferno in control, throwing Maverick back in the ring. Nitro is now in the ring alone with the both of them, but here comes Inferno. Inferno going after Lance, picking him up. Backbreaker. Going after Maverick now. Maverick breaking out of the lock. A running bulldog from Lance onto Inferno. Inferno rolling out of the ring. Nitro and Inferno trying to regroup here. Wow. Both Lance and Maverick over the top rope, taking out Inferno. Maverick and Lance in full control. I take that back. Nitro with one heck of a DDT to Maverick on that floor outside. Inferno slamming Lance down onto that floor as well. Inferno with an elbow to Lance's face, tossing Lance into the ring the rails, the barrier there in front of the crowd. Lance with a neck breaker. Back over at Maverick and Nitro now. Maverick elbows Nitro. Nitro reverses and elbows him in the knee, slamming him against those barriers. Maverick with a nice clothesline after dodging a right from Nitro. Now Inferno is in control, throwing Lance into the ring and taking out Maverick, it seems. Has him leaned up against that barrier. Inferno back in the ring, only to get a Russian leg sweep from Lance. Talk about one heck of a match. This action is difficult to call. It's honestly hard to tell at this point who is going to win this match. Maverick has not moved in a minute here. In these tornado tag matches, the match can go anywhere in the building, but pinfalls or submissions must be done in the ring. Nice leg drop from Nitro to Maverick, and then a well-placed elbow to the center of his chest. Nitro just going off on Maverick. On the other side of the ring, though, Lance seems to be in control. Throwing Inferno back in the ring, going over to help Maverick, it seems. It seems like Lance may be busted open. Hard to tell from here. Not sure when that would have happened. But he is donning the Crimson Mask. A nice neck breaker. And a clothesline from Nitro into Maverick. Lance is just standing there, kind of just watching it all go down. And now Inferno has him up. Nope. Lance gets down. Met with an elbow. And then a knee breaker, or maybe even a shin breaker. I think that was the shin. Inferno slamming Maverick's face off the ring barrier. And Inferno rolling back in after throwing Lance in the ring. Some of the action back in the ring. It looks like Inferno's going for a choke slam. He hits the choke slam. It's over. No one to save it. 1, 2. No. Lance kicks out. Incredible. Inferno heading to the top rope. Waiting for Lance to get up. A nice top rope clothesline. Inferno picking Lance back up. We've got Maverick and Nitro back in the ring. Bounce off the rope. A kick to the face. It looks like he's looking for, well, he was looking for the choke slam, but his tag team partner came over and kind of stopped that. And now Lance reverses it. A party kick to Inferno. Another party kick to Nitro. Lance going for the pin. This must be it. 1, 2. No, Nitro kicks out. He may have been better off pinning Inferno. Maverick heading over to Inferno, picking him up. We've got the Party Boys in full control. Maverick looking for a submission here, but Inferno looks to be fighting out of it. Inferno in control of Maverick now, picking him up by his throat and slamming him back down. Lance turns around, reverses, and goes after Inferno. A Russian leg sweep. Inferno just being double teamed by the Party Boys. Nitro on the outside trying to recover back in the ring. Lance meets him at the door. No, was looking for a neck breaker, reversed it, but was just met with a clothesline from Maverick. Only a 2 count. It's going to take more than that to take Nitro and Inferno down. A well-placed kick to the side of the head of Nitro, and now they're going after Inferno. Top rope clothesline, knocking Inferno down, going for the pin. Only a 2 count. And Lance can't believe it. He thought for sure he had it won. Maverick has Nitro in submission, but Nitro also fighting out of it. Missed party kick from Lance, met with a boot from Inferno. Inferno picking Lance back up and going for the choke slam. No, reversal by Lance. Great ring awareness there. DDT. Looks like Lance is going to the top rope. Could this be the party splash? It is party splash on Inferno. Pinfall. 1, 2, 3. Nitro just could not get in time to prevent the pin. Party Boys are your winners. Incredible. That party splash was all that was needed.
These are your winners, Lance and Maverick, the Party Boys.
Well, thank you for joining me tonight for Toxic Aftershock. We will see you next time.